Welcome to Awali's Kitchen Classroom. I am Giovanna Johnson Cook, the chef in residence, as well as the executive director of Awali and chef owner of Maito Foods. I am really excited today because today we are making vegan gumbo. And we're gonna try to do it in a few easy steps. Many of you know that vegan gumbo is often a tedious process, but what I went ahead and did, just because I know that it has a lot of different steps, is I went ahead and did a lot of pre-prep, and those instructions will be inside of the guide at the bottom of the recipe, just to give you some kind of semblance of what it looks like to have everything meased out and pre-prepped before you begin building your gumbo. So first, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to fry our filled roast sausages to go in just as a nice little, bite to the gumbo. And then I'm also going to, while those are cooking up, I'm going to shred some mushrooms, some king oyster mushrooms. That's gonna serve as like our chicken alternative in this gumbo. I'm gonna add a little oil just to fry these down. And while that's heating up, I can go ahead and begin the shredding process of our mushrooms. And I found this easy trick somewhere online, just as a way to get a nice shred on your mushrooms. Just taking a fork and going over them and making them into these nice little pieces. So yeah, I think our oil is getting pretty hot now, so I can go ahead after I finish shredding this one and add the sausage to the pan. We love to hear it, don't we? That sizzle. And gumbo is one of those things that, traditionally it's like done around holidays. I like to just spring it up on my family every now and again, just when I'm actually in the mood, because as we all know, gumbo can be a process. It takes a nice amount of time, but it's a dish that like everyone in my family enjoys. Ooh, that's got dark quick. We may need to turn our fire down a bit. We're just gonna call those Cajun, right? And then we will get to the base, the thing that everybody talks about. And hopefully I make a roux that is worthy for all the aficionados here, and I don't get clowned for my roux, but I think I have it down pretty good. This is definitely something that's coming out of not necessarily familiar tradition, but it is definitely in my DNA. And unfortunately, it wasn't one of the recipes that I can get off my father. I did get a red beans and rice that perhaps one day I'll share with you all, a vegan red beans and rice. So now we got our pan pretty hot. We're gonna go ahead and add these shredded oyster mushrooms in here. That's the sound I wanted. There we go. And so this is a mix of poultry seasoning, black pepper, and some all-purpose seasoning that I'm gonna add to our chicken alternative, which is these king oyster mushrooms. And I love them for their meaty texture and just how they they're gonna absorb all this great flavor. The smell in here is already quite yummy. And while those are cooking, I'm gonna go ahead and just chop up my sausage into little bite-sized pieces. I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit of salt to our mushroom, just a tiny bit. Give them their own seasoning. These are almost good to go and where I want them for this dish. And then we're gonna go ahead and get started on our roux. So I'm gonna just switch pans here. That doesn't burn. gonna try to fit our mushroom into one of these bowls and then just have it on hand for when we add it to our main gumbo. Nice. So the next step is we're getting ready to make our roux. I went ahead and put a cast iron skillet on the fire. I'm letting that heat up a bit. When it heats up, I'm gonna add our grapeseed oil, and I have about 1.5 cups of grapeseed oil, and then I'm gonna add 1.5 cups of flour to that, so like balance them out. So for whatever, say I wanted to do a thicker gravy, then I would probably do like 2 cups of oil, and then I would balance that out with 2 cups of flour, and then cook that down until we get a nice roux. I'm gonna go ahead and add my oil in and let that warm up. I'm gonna start making our roux, and I wanna go fast with this because I don't want any time to too much time to transpire, because as some of you may know who have done this before, if you ruin the roux, it's like you gotta start all over again from scratch, and who wants to do that? And I'm always having to be careful to not splash my roux. The thing about roux as well is that it'll change so quickly. So just when you think it's getting mundane, you're like, oh my gosh, I've been stirring forever and I see no changes happening, you'll blink and your roux will have turned. And so you have to, no matter what, just stick with the process, stay in it, because it will change quickly. Or if you let it settle, it will burn. And then you gotta start all over again. However, you can see it's starting to get browner. I like mine to be like milk chocolate. So like just a little bit lighter than my skin tone. I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna call it. Wait, just a little bit more. A little bit more. I'm gonna call it. So I'm gonna put it back on our fire. But what I'm gonna do right now is, while it is on our fire, I'm going to add our veggies. So in goes in our onions, our bell peppers, our celery, and our garlic. We're just gonna stir that down. Stir that in the pot. Get it all nice and incorporated. We just want to get these veggies nice and soft. About 5 minutes. We're on medium high heat. I'm gonna go ahead and add our sausage that we made earlier. Add our sausage. I'm gonna add about a teaspoon of salt. Add in some of our seasoning, which includes some Old Bay. And actually it also has some of Chef Max Hardy's seasoning blend. His all-purpose seasoning, his everyday love. I like to use that in recipes, just for everything actually. It smells amazing in here right now, to me. The seasoning is in. Everything is incorporated. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add about 1.5 cups of some vegetable broth. You can do some no chicken broth. I'm gonna add that into our gumbo pot. Let that heat up. As you can see, we've gone down significantly in our ingredients. The last thing, as this is heating up, I'm gonna let this boil, come to a boil. And the last thing that we have to add is our oyster mushrooms. I'm gonna add these into our gumbo. And then once it comes to a boil, we'll turn our fire down to low. And we're gonna let that simmer for about an hour. And as it's simmering, it's gonna thicken up. All those flavors are gonna meld. It's gonna be so yummy. So I'm gonna go ahead and add some bay leaf as well to our gumbo because, I mean, we need bay leaf. It's part of the tradition. It's a part of the flavor profile. So I'm gonna add in maybe like 3 leaves of bay leaf. Add that into our pot. So we're gonna check on our gumbo and see how we're progressing. I did, over the course of time, add a bit more broth just because it was really, really thick. And I wanted to just thin it out a little bit as it was cooking. I wanna go ahead and now add our sliced okra. I like to add mine towards the end just because I want that goo, but like, I don't want it crazy gooey. And we already have a lot of thickness from our roux. So just stir that in and we'll give it a bit more time to cook down, and then we'll be ready to plate. All right. And so we have now, at this point, allowed our gumbo to cook for about 45 minutes, close to an hour. Let's see how it's looking. It's looking quite yummy. We added our okra to the pan. I'm gonna give it a nice stir. See how we're doing. Ooh, yum, 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 yum. I really want to taste it, make sure it doesn't need any additional seasoning, and then I'm gonna plate up. Ooh, and it's perfect because today is a cold day. I am gonna add just a little bit of salt. Just a little bit. Just to make sure it's seasoned really well. Give it one more stir. I think it's time. I think it's time that we plate this up right now. And so in this bowl, I have seasoned brown and wild rice blend. You can use any rice, black rice, quinoa, which probably would have been a good one. Traditionally, it would have been white rice, but I'm trying to do better for the new year. Right? Maybe a little bit more. Get some okra up in there. I don't really want that bay leaf. Yum. This is about to go down. Add some chives to it. Give it some nice color. So we did it, y'all. We made a vegan gumbo. And this is a continuation of our soup, stew, broth series that we're doing right now for the winter months, the fall months. So yeah, let's dig in. Let's see how it went down. Get some of that okra. I know this is gonna be hot, so I'm gonna actually blow it. Y'all gonna see me. I don't know if y'all can catch that steam rising off of this bowl, but I don't want to put this in my mouth in this hot lava. That's gumbo. That's how we like it. It's so creamy. The okra's still a bit crunchy. It hasn't gotten soggy. You can actually taste the flavor of the okra. All those flavors in there. That Old Bay seafood taste it has going on. Those mushrooms are nice and meaty. I'm gonna take another bite. Y'all know I like to go in. Perfect. That's great. So, Awali's Classroom Kitchen, once again, we got vegan gumbo today. Thank y'all for joining in. Once again, we'll be back for more videos, more content, more peeks into what we do around here at the Awali farm and homestead. Hope you all tune in. Thank you for joining us today. Peace. I'm gonna eat some more though. Oh, you sure you don't want to be that?